Hello.
What up? She's
Okay,
Crystal.
And what? Oh,
And I'm
gosh.
Kingston.
So you pressed play without saying anything to
I
me.
know, I thought we were going.
I usually say a little catchy thing in the beginning of these. Hi, it's Functional Faith Friday. So, are you addicted to stress?
Wait. Say it again.
Are you addicted to stress? Okay, so this is what happens when I have Kingston make the graphics. He makes sure all of them get done. Okay.
Look, you see how it's cracked?
Nope, I don't.
It's cracked in the...
Okay, we're going to move on now.
Because it looks...
So are you addicted to stress? Many of us may have a stress addiction.
Yes.
And I'm smiling, but it's really not funny because stress can be just as addictive as
sugar.
You just gonna go straight for the sugar? You just gonna go straight for the sugar. Okay, yeah, sugar, which can be just as addictive as cocaine. And so
basically,
it's very
white,
serious.
Powdery.
And all three of these
stay away from
substances can be
except like baby powder, that's okay.
Actually, it's okay.
Okay, maybe not.
So, oh gosh, babe.
Baking soda.
Okay. Babe, you gotta stop. All three of these things can be just as detrimental for the body as its counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you know if you have an addiction to stress? Well, we have a couple of questions to ask you. Do you thrive on tight deadlines?
Hey, would you go turn off the air conditioner, because it was like really loud and then it was quiet? And okay,
do you leave things?
Do you leave things until the last minute? I know I'm that way. Do you find it hard to do nothing? Yes, personally. Do you think a lot about work on your day off? Definitely. Do you regularly experience FOMO? And for those of you who don't know, FOMO is a fear of missing out. Does the idea of not having your phone on you stress you out?
I want to read the next one. Does your brain keep talking when you're trying to go to sleep?
For sure.
Mine does not. Mine stops talking.
I'm convinced yours stops talking like before your head hits the pillow. Like,
okay. I thought you were going to say, I'm convinced yours never talks.
Do you feel as though there is never enough time to get things done? Do you often feel like your day's work just isn't enough? Do you never seem to have time for friends or hobbies?
I wrote that and I thought it said hobbits.
It does. Does it seem like you are constantly running from one thing to the next? Not so much in the pandemic. Do you find yourself finishing other people's statements?
Do you find yourself correcting typos all the time?
Okay. Do you wish we'd stop asking all these questions?
You said all. That would have been really good if we said it in unison.
Oh, I see the crack there. I see it's kind of marbled a little bit.
It's not. It's like a dry ground.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So did you answer yes to a lot of those questions? Those questions reminded me of a questionnaire that I did today. Ooh, and it's relevant. Oh man, I should have included that. I should have that queued up to share screen. We're gonna do that next time. Maybe not next time, but I'll maybe post
another
it later.
Time.
But I did a questionnaire in my functional.
Lord willing.
In my function.
The creek don't rise.
Stop it. Are you trying to induce stress for this stress addiction? Is that intentional, or
do you find it hard to do live videos with your husband?
Yes. I did a questionnaire today in a workshop that I participated in for my functional nutrition program.
Yes.
And the workshop required all of us, there was 3 people in my breakout room, to fill out an adrenal fatigue questionnaire. That questionnaire, well, let me just put it this way. Of the 3 people there, I won the not contest for the most adrenal fatigue.
The most adrenally fatigued.
um, so I'll maybe post a link to that questionnaire for other people to try to quiz, because it's very important to know, because adrenal fatigue is a product, is a fruit of having a stress addiction. So what do we mean by stress addiction, or an addiction to stress?
Well, let me speak now on that. Here's what Crystal and I are identifying in ourselves and in other people, especially as we have started this business and as we have pursued health and holiness and a really functional faith for ourselves, and as we have kind of deconstructed all of what we know and all of what we're learning so that we can reconstruct it and repackage it and actually teach other people. What we're finding is that so many of us, we included, probably you, whoever you are, so many of us don't actually really want to be healthy. But we do, but we don't. But we do, but we don't. Whenever we start actually stepping and going and because here's the thing, in order to be mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy, financially healthy, you have to do things different. And you have to do things that are uncomfortable. You have to do things that might even hurt a little bit. It might hurt your pride. It might hurt what you picture in your mind as where you wanted to be. It might, like, you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to then look at what needs to be done, the hard work that needs to be done. And then you need to learn that even though it's hard work, that you're somehow supposed to be resting in Yahweh while doing the hard work. And it seems so uncomfortable, and it seems like it might just be easier to just not do it. And we have hit that wall. We will probably, that's something that I've kind of surrendered, that maybe it's just something that we're going to constantly hit, and maybe it just gets easier to walk through the wall. I don't think that ever the wall just goes away. I think just we get easier identifying, oh, I'm hitting that wall now, and I know what I need to do to get past it. I don't think we ever really stop hitting that wall. But I think so many people, especially in our culture of comfort, we hit the wall and then we just stop, and then we hit the wall and then we just stop. This is why people buy courses and don't do anything with them. This is why people get information on blogs and websites. We are in information overload. If you want to know how to be healthy, you have at your fingertips the information and the way to vet out the information, to find the right information in order to be healthy. But so few of us are actually doing it. Why? Because we hit the wall. We're like, this is not comfortable. And then we stop. And here's what I think has happened. I think that, there was a time whenever humanity did not live in comfort. There was a time whenever if you wanted to eat, you had to actually go out and struggle and fight for what you wanted to eat. It was uncomfortable to go get food. And that was just normal. They didn't even know that it was uncomfortable. They didn't even know that wasn't even like, it wasn't an option to go to Walmart or Kroger's or wherever and go get what you wanted. They had to go hunt for it. They had to go gather it. It wasn't an option to purchase a home for $75,000 over asking price. That wasn't even an option. They had to actually build their homes. So that was a housing market reference, because the housing market right now is crazy. But they didn't have, they had to struggle in order to survive. And that struggle, they were under an amount of stress. Whenever you're out hunting and gathering, whenever you're out doing something and you hear like rustling in the woods and you're hunting deer and you realize that you're being hunted by a bear, you get stressed. And whenever we experience stress, we experience a release in our body of certain chemicals that are meant to protect us, that are meant to get us to a safe zone, right? That's what stress is for. Stress is actually a gift. Fear is a gift. Anxiety even is a gift. It's something that we're supposed to fear and feel. And then the way that Yahweh has designed us, that releases these chemicals in us. And then we actually respond in a way to get to safety. And we get to safety we escape the bear. I don't really know how you would escape a bear. Maybe make yourself bigger. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Adrenaline makes you fast.
Yeah, but they can run 30 miles an hour.
Not that fast.
Yeah, not that fast. So, the stress brought safety. Stress was meant to bring us into safety. And now I'm wondering if, I don't know, this is just a Kingston theory, but I'm wondering if maybe we have associated stress with safety, where, someone like Kingston and Crystal come along and we say, hey, um, we want to help you get healthy. And you say, I would love to get healthy. And then we say, okay, here's some grunt work that we need to do. Your diet is killing you. So we probably need to change that. Your diet is slowly killing you. Your mindset is really not healthy right now. So we need to start deconstructing and looking at, the emotional baggage that you're carrying. Man, that's heavy. Let's address that. And it's like, well, I don't really want to change my diet because I like ice cream. And I don't really want to address my emotional baggage because I don't want to go there with anybody, especially you. So whenever we do that, what happens is those same chemicals that came up whenever our ancestors met a bear, those same chemicals come up inside of us. And those chemicals are actually addicting, like scientifically proven to be addicting. And we're addicted to them, I believe, because it brings us back into safety. It brings us back into a comfort zone. And that's why anybody, any guru or any pastor or anybody that's telling you anything will tell you if you want to grow, it's going to result in you stepping outside of your comfort zone. So, segue. What do you have?
Oh wow. Okay. That was okay. I didn't think you were gonna finish there, but
What was I supposed to say?
I don't know.
I have more to say. I just felt like I was talking for a long time.
Specifically in my life, where I've seen my addiction to stress is as I've been on this healing journey and as I began to get relief from my depression and anxiety, I saw myself self-sabotaging or reaching an upper limit, as the book The Big Leap would call it, because I would then go and have a lot of carbs or a lot of sugar. And I know from my body and how I'm made up, that is a trigger for my depression and anxiety. I'm more irritable the next day. I'm more on edge. I'm more anxious. And my mood in general is just lower. Sugar plays a big role in our mental health and our hormonal balance. Our blood sugar impacts our hormonal balance. And so when I consume a lot of it, or if I don't get enough sleep, that is another low-key way that I self-sabotage my mental health. And
subliminal.
What?
Oh, okay. Continue.
Okay, I have no idea what he means. And so
I've not been getting enough sleep.
No, that wasn't. Nope, that wasn't about you.
Oh,
that was
guilty
that was
conscience.
Yeah, I mean, this is okay. Yeah. Thank you, Holy Spirit.
Gotta love it,
honey. You don't have to say it. He can get it. God can do it.
I don't need that much sleep though.
Okay. So, why? So I began asking myself why. Why am I? What am I escaping? Or what good thing am I? So like, what difficult thing am I trying to escape? Or what good thing am I like trying to block because I don't feel worthy? Because it's two-sided, right? And so for me, staying up late or consuming a lot of sugar or carbs, for me, what I'm trying to escape is my sense of over responsibility. I just often feel burdened with over responsibility, the type of thing where you think, if I don't do it, it'll never get done. If I don't do it, it won't get done right. If I'm not there, then it won't. So it's like everything depends on me. A lot of moms struggle with this. I call it the mom martyr syndrome. And it can be
M&Ms.
You shouldn't have, because it might be a self-sabotaging.
Yes.
But and so it's something that I had to identify. Okay, I feel overly responsible. And so in order to escape that feeling, that negative emotion that I have of feeling overly responsible, I sabotage myself so that I am stuck in bed for a day because of my depression or my anxiety. And so I can just throw up my hands and say, I can't handle it. You have to handle it now. This is too much for me. Everyone else has to take over because I can't. I just can't anymore. And I'm not I've explained that to you before, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm like
It's like,
co-signing.
oh, really? That's what you be doing. And it's not to say that it is not a true diagnosis, right? That is the root of that is still anxiety, right? The root of it is still brokenness, it's still pain, it's still trauma. And so I truly do have, chronic fatigue. I truly do have anxiety, right? But these things can be brought into remission. And I resisted the healing process for so long because one of the sense of over responsibility, and this was a way for me to not have to bear that negative emotion all the time, to have a break from that feeling. And then on the positive side, it was what good thing was I resisting? I was afraid just to be well. I just had never experienced. I so much identified with, hi, I'm Crystal, and I struggle with depression and anxiety. Oh, don't mind me. You don't expect so much of me. And that goes right back to the over responsibility. Don't expect too much of me because I might let you down because I struggle with these things, right? And then I could always limit my goals, my aspirations, what I thought I was capable of. I could limit myself and already kind of, I don't know, just that way, if I ever fail at accomplishing one of my goals or dreams or whatever, well, you know what? I have this to fall back on. Like, I didn't fail because I'm a failure necessarily. I fail because I'm suffering with these things. I'm not trying to offend anybody. This is my story. So if you are like, if I'm hitting some buttons or if you're feeling a bit triggered, just go inward, right? This is my story. This is true for me. And so when I decided to release myself of those things, when I decided to look these things in the eye, and instead of repressing them or suppressing or just I can't go over it, can't go around it, you got to go through it. When I decided to go through those emotions, now when I see myself, doing these actions or about to engage in staying up super late, I'm like, what? I ask myself those questions. What am I avoiding? What am I blocking? What am I avoiding that's bad? What am I blocking that's good? And do I still struggle with going to bed on time? Yes. Do I still struggle with always eating, the best foods for my body? Yes. But it's a process. And so we're inviting you into that process.
What you be eating? What you be eating?
I mean, I got my mom some kebab chips, and they're sweetened with coconut sugar, but I think they might have also had something else in it, or the sugar was inflammatory enough as my wrist is hurting. My body tells me. And so if your body, that's another, just really quick,
like cookies or something.
Really quick side note. We don't want cookies. Really quick side note. If your body gives you symptoms that are frustrating for you.
Yeah, like I saw a meme today that said like, oh, if you played any one of these game consoles growing up, it's time to take ibuprofen for your back. Just a daily reminder to take ibuprofen. It was like a PlayStation, the first PlayStation, and a Nintendo 64.
I don't get it. Like because you were hunched over playing?
No, because like you're old and you need.
Oh, that's rude.
And so like our body, and I thought our bodies we don't need ibuprofen in order for our back to stop hurting. It may seem like we do.
Yeah, that's true. That wasn't exactly what I was about to say though. I was just gonna say if you have symptoms, like for instance, my wrist hurts anytime I have corn or too much sugar.
Or your back.
And so I know, like right now my wrist is hurting a little bit, and I'm like, and I literally had to ask myself, when did I have corn? Like, what did I eat that was wrong? And I was like, I mean, I did have a little bit.
Kebab chips.
I was pop myself a kebab chips. But anyway, so addiction, stress addiction, it can be very addictive because these hormones, these chemicals, like you said earlier, are released in our body, like dopamine, which is a good feeling hormone when we experience stress. And so it can be more comfortable to stay in this stressful state. Yeah. But what we don't realize is that when you're stressed, literally everything, stress is like carcinogenic, just like sugar.
It may be comfortable, but it is detrimental. Comfort really is detrimental.
Because your body isn't, it's under pressure that muscles are built. It's under pressure that you grow. Even the Bible speaks about how it's trials and tribulations where we grow, right? And so when we push through difficult emotions and when we undergo positive stress, good stress, then we are able to grow, right?
Yes.
Too much negative stress keeps our body always thinking that we are running from a bear. Our bodies don't know the difference between running from a bear and being stuck in traffic, or running from a bear and, messing up your eyeliner. Like
Right.
whatever you allow to cause you stress, your body sees it the same. And immediately your body says, it's time to run. It's not time to make babies. It's not time to rest. It's not time to digest or absorb any of our food. So then the whole system shuts down.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's very, very detrimental. And what was I going to say? So like when we are clinging to these things that we know aren't going to get us to the goals that we have in life, or the quality of life that we want to have, that is a sign of an addiction. Like you think about a typical
Right.
addiction to drugs, right? If you threaten their supply, then they get angry, defensive, all sorts of things, right? So maybe consider when someone says, what is your reaction when someone says, I really think that dairy, gluten, sugar, Netflix, so much time on Facebook, whatever it might be,
video games,
watching so much of the news, or, being habitually late. Consider when somebody says these things to you, or if someone said these things to you, how would you respond?
And if the answer is with defensiveness, I have not experienced in myself or in anyone else a response of defensiveness because of something false that was said.
Yeah. So if you feel like, well, I could never give up my waffles. I could never give up. That he keeps saying ice cream. That's the one for him. I could never give up my
ice cream.
My gosh. My emos. I can never give up my. That was my brother worked at emos too, so it was.
We got free pizza.
It was serious. It was real hard. I can never give up my Wingstop. I can never give up my whatever it might be. Is we used to love us some Wingstop too.
Yeah, Wingstop.
And then we were like, man, every time we eat it, we get a headache though. Huh?
Yeah, and I had to go to the bathroom a lot.
So, ask yourself, do I want this to always be, do I want anything to be my master?
Yeah.
Do I want to live my life addicted to something where something else has more control over my life and my future than I do?
And let me say that sometimes, there are these processes, and we can end with this. Sometimes there are these processes that we have to go through, like a dietary change, or sitting down and really enduring some emotional healing. And now, granted, we've been on a journey of emotional healing and mental healing and physical healing and changing our diet, and have been experiencing the fruit of that. But it can also kind of come in an instant. For me, I had a history of abuse, and it just I would think about my abuser, and I would feel anger and even fear and anxiety and all these things. It was literally impacting just about every part of my life, my relationship with Crystal, my relationship with my kids, any effort that I had at planning a church, any effort I had at starting a business, all of it. And I was literally walking up the stairs one day, 8 weeks ago, and I just had this thought. I was thinking about just my past and the way that it is impacting my present. And I was feeling angry, and I realized, Kingston, I literally told myself, Kingston, you're choosing to feel this way right now. Like you're choosing to think about that, and you're choosing to think about that in the way that you're thinking about it, to feel the way that you're feeling, because you don't want to deal with what's going on right now in your present moment, because you're escaping it, because you're using this as an excuse to not perform as well as you can. You're using it as an excuse to not be as present with your family as you can. You're using it as an excuse to not pursue excellence as well as you can, because, well, look at my abuse. Well, look at it. I realized it's a victim mentality. I had a victim mentality, and in an instant, before I got to the top of the stairs, I had surrendered it. And it was beautiful, and it was awesome, and it was really cool. And I was like, this is freaking legit. And I experienced the freedom of that, the weight of that. And I'm not saying that weight can't be placed back on, and it has actually come back. But because of that experience of how quickly I'm able to just cast it off whenever it comes back, and I realize, okay, I'm wearing this now. I picked it up and put it back on. It didn't just drop out of the sky. And I can now choose to take it off and shed it. And then if I decide I ever want to pick it up, put it back on, I now know what triggers I can see. I say, oh, what? Oh, geez, I'm wearing this again, and I can take it off and shed it again. And I'm realizing that there's so many things in life that are like that, where we are choosing. And I just want to challenge you to look at your life and identify what you are choosing to hold on to, what you are choosing to not let go of, what you are choosing to maybe latch yourself onto. What are you choosing to do? What are you doing that is detrimental to you, and you know it's detrimental to you, and you're choosing it because you don't want to be better, because you don't want to be healthy. And once you identify what that is, shoot us an instant message, an instant message, AIM. You remember that? My bad. Shoot us a direct message, a DM, and say, hey, you know what? I saw your video. This is what I have seen. This is what I've identified. If you're watching it on YouTube and you feel comfortable commenting below, you can. If you don't, then in the description, we'll have a link to our Facebook group. You can go there. You can find us there. You can message us there. You can find us on Instagram and message us. We want to help you is what I'm saying. Once you identify what it is, we have the tools to help you say, okay, this is what it is. And we have the tools to help you not go over it because you can't, not go around it because you can't, not go under it because you can't, but go through it.
Yeah, that's very well said. You don't have to just survive. You really can thrive. And transformation is a process.
Yeah.
There's layers.
The answer is not anywhere out here. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care. The answer isn't anywhere out here. The answer to thriving is not anywhere out here. The answer to thriving is within us. It's here. It's a gift that God has given us. He's given us Christ. He's given us a spirit. And that spirit that dwells within us then is actually equipping us to be at peace regardless of any circumstances around us.
And that's what it comes back to. When you're surrendering to an addiction, you are giving up your power to something as simple as your favorite food, or something as simple or something as difficult as a traumatic past. But ultimately, you can be empowered. You can reclaim that. You can release those things, and you can reclaim and receive the life that God has for you, a life
joy,
of experiencing the divine,
the peace,
all the time,
the power.
Is that from something or
from me?
Okay, well, that's what we have for you guys today. Are you addicted to stress? If you are, and
you are,
and you want some guidance to regain your power and transform your life, connect with us. We can't wait to get to know you and to help you. All right, that's what we have. Go